We have seen innovators meeting capital and policy leaders meeting the lived reality of enterprise. As we prepare to hear your vision, allow me to share what we have called the Arusha signals, which is clear indicators of what our SMEs need to move from passion to industrial performance. The Arusha signals, Right Honorable Prime Minister, our deliberations have clarified 7 truths. 1 is growth is a system. SMEs don't grow by luck. They grow through governance and financial visibility. 2, integrity is infrastructure. When contracts are honored and the data is truthful, the cost of capital falls. 3, digital is mandatory. Our SMEs must adopt to e-commerce and digital tools now, or risk being left out of global supply chains. 4, compliance is a strategy. Closing the standards gap is the fastest way to open international markets. 5, coordination is the multiplier. When government agencies align their processes, the entrepreneur thrives. When they fragment, the entrepreneur pays the price. 6, relationships drive investment. Capital follows credibility built through structured mentorship. And 7, preparedness wins. Our international partners are ready to invest, but they require organized pipelines of clear projects. Honorable Prime Minister, today you will award certificates to graduates of the Business Development Center, BDC. These are not just trainees, they are a new standard of entrepreneurs. Through our partnership with Regent University, we have moved these men and women from having a passion to delivering performance. They are ready to build the business that will pay the taxes and create the jobs our nation requires. As a proposal for implementation, Right Honorable Prime Minister, KLNT is not here to merely host events. We are here to build institutions. Therefore, we respectfully propose 2 major initiatives for the year ahead. First, the KLI Innovation Hub, a platform to bridge the youth unemployment gap by providing grounding in digital operations, cybersecurity, and e-commerce. We invite the ICT Commission to co-design this with us. Second, a joint coordination mechanism for 2027. We propose that the preparations begin immediately for the next year's combined Tanzania-USA Investment Forum and SMEs Summit, scheduled for 16th to 17th April next year, 2027. To protect the momentum of this week, we propose an implementation compact, a simple collaborative framework where stakeholders track their progress weekly, quarterly, and annually. We hope for your government's blessing on this structured follow-up. In closing, Right Honorable Prime Minister, we are ready to walk this journey. We seek leadership that serves, businesses that deliver quality, and the partnerships that keep their word. We now look forward to your guidance and your vision for the future of Tanzanian enterprises. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Honorable Former Prime Minister, Mzee Sumai. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Mr. Isaac Mpwata, the chairperson of KLNT, for welcome remarks.
Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, former Prime Minister Frederick Sumai, and our patron, our father of the Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania, Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, Regional Commissioners, distinguished government and business leaders, partners, investors, SMEs, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol is respected. Yesterday, this room was filled with voices of SMEs issues to do with growth, challenges. This room was filled with financial and resources development experts, policymakers, investors, researchers, and the people who are responsible with trade, foreign direct investment from within Tanzania and abroad. They spoke about the infrastructure required for SME acceleration. Today is different. Today we change our focus. Today we look not on systems, but people. We celebrate not policies, but possibilities. We honor not institutions, but the individuals who have committed to transform themselves, and through their transformation, to transform their families and their nation. The entrepreneurs graduating today from the KLI BDC Tanzania program are one of the reasons systems exist. If they were not here, these SMEs and these entrepreneurs who are graduating today, if they're not ready, if they're not hungry, if they're not disciplined, then all policies and systems would be empty. Tanzania Development Vision 2050 calls on our nation to accelerate inclusive growth, strengthen innovation, and build a future-ready economy that can compete regionally and globally. That vision is not a slogan, it is a roadmap. And it requires a delivery mindset across all sectors. In my experience, transformation succeeds when there are three things that are built together. First, capable and ethical leadership. Second, productive enterprises that can scale. Third, systems that reward performance and reduce friction for those who create value. This is why the Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania exists. Over a decade, KLNT has reached more than 200,000 leaders, senior leaders, through its 10 platforms. 10 years ago, when the idea of starting this organization was in my mind, because I believed something fundamental, that everything rises and falls on leadership. That business, when grounded in ethics and integrity, is not just a mechanism for individual achievement. It is a vehicle for human dignity, for employment, for community building, and for national transformation. During this summit, I saw that belief affirmed in every speech from yesterday and from the previous executive masterclass of the trainers, in every interaction and in the energy within this room. We are not just discussing about small and medium enterprises. We are discussing how ordinary Tanzanians can build extraordinary lives. That is a sacred work, and I'm honored to be part of this along all of you here. The Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania has evolved into an ecosystem of multiple platforms that bring together leadership development, enterprises growth, and investment and trade facilitation, so that we can enhance the foreign direct investments and economic diplomacy. And our approach is not theoretical. We design platforms that produce measurable outcomes and incomes for those people. Trained leaders, improved businesses, viable partnerships. KLNT operates in more than 10 partnerships here in Tanzania and abroad. To start with the Regent University, through their Center for Entrepreneurship in the USA, Virginia Beach. Here in Tanzania, we work with the Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology based in Arusha. We work with the East African Women Business Platform. We work with the TISEZA, Tanzania Investment in Special Economic Zones. We work with CTI, the unit for the industrialists here in Tanzania. Also work with other universities across the globe. For this summit, our promise is practical. We want to move participants from information to implementation, and from networking to transactions. So the KLNT work is organized through 10 platforms, as I mentioned, each designed to solve a specific national development challenge. Leadership formations, entrepreneurship, sector coordination, and investment linkages. These platforms include, just to mention a few, the Kingdom Leadership Institute, which this one is in partnership with the Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship, and together they formed the Business Development Center here in Tanzania, which is running this action-based 20 weeks entrepreneurship program, of which today we will witness more than 45 entrepreneurs, SMEs, who have graduated with practical businesses, who started from an idea and now they're running and launching some real businesses. Another platform that KLNT operates is Tanzania Israel Business and Investment Forum. We've done this 80 years in partnership with the government of Israel and the government of Tanzania, and more than 500 investors have been connected to Tanzania, to the government, to the private sector, and SMEs. But we also run a public leadership development program, Youth Leadership Forum, and we also run the Tanzania National Prayer Breakfast, a global presidential platform which started in the Washington, D.C. We managed to launch here in Tanzania, and this year, God willingly, we are in the final discussion with the Parliament of Tanzania to take over and start hosting this platform on behalf of the nation. These are not events for publicity. They are practical vehicles for building leadership capacity, convening decision makers, and moving ideas into implementation. Today we want to spotlight just three: the international business and the investment platforms. This is connecting Tanzania to the globe. To mention a few, we take businesses from Tanzania, we expose them to the world, especially South Africa, Israel, and the United States of America to start. But we're also running the Tanzania USA Business Investment Forum. This is a people-to-people, business-to-business, business-to-government, and now it has reached a point, Honorable Prime Minister, where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through our embassy in Tel Aviv, they've seen the value and the importance of this platform, and they've decided to take over. So we were scheduled this year to go to Tel Aviv, the delegation led by Minister of Foreign Affairs, to connect businesses from Tanzania and the businesses in Israel. Let me focus, as I'm about to conclude my remarks, on the Business Development Center. One of the main reasons why we are here today, and in 5 years, KLNT and the Regent University entered into a formal partnership to establish a business development center here in Tanzania. Through this BDC Tanzania, we are delivering rigorous action-based entrepreneurship program and a practical business advisory support. The 20-week program is designed to produce outcomes that investors can recognize: credible business plans, documented operations, financial visibility, compliance and discipline, together with their marketing strategies. So the BDC is not one-off classroom experience. No, it is a repeatable pipeline, training, mentorship, coaching, and a clear graduation and certification through our partners, Regent University, which is one of the global leading university from Virginia Beach. So across recent cohorts, the BD Tanzania has been implemented in Dar es Salaam, where it was launched first 5 years ago. Then we moved it to Dodoma, and last year we officially it was launched here in Arusha by then the Minister of Investment, Professor Katila Mkumbo, representing the Prime Minister during the launch. About 45 entrepreneurs and SMEs are graduating today. A total of more than 300 entrepreneurs receiving practical support to formalize their enterprises, strengthen record keeping, improve compliances, refine products, and position themselves for contracts and partnerships. In the days preceding this summit, KLNT and Regent Center for Entrepreneurship conducted an executive masterclass, the trainer session to train the Tanzanian CEOs, successful business owners. There were 35 of them. They were trained on the methodologies, practical approach, how to train entrepreneurs, not from an academic perspective, but from the perspective of practical approach on getting how to do a real business on the ground. These graduates did not simply attend a program. They went through that process, and now they are ready to launch. Some they're running the business, some they're ready to scale up. They tested their ideas, some they failed. Honorable Prime Minister, for these entrepreneurs to graduate, they must develop a comprehensive business, not a business plan, a comprehensive business. And they present it to their mentors and experts who have been successful running businesses. And once they are successful doing that, then they are ready to graduate. So it's a very practical program that makes sure SMEs development is going on in Tanzania. Before I conclude my remarks and hand over the microphone to Jason Benedict, who is one of the founding leader of the Business Development Center Global from the Regent Center for Entrepreneurship in the USA, to represent and speak on behalf of the Regent University, our partner in this meeting in Tanzania. I want to say this. This moment, this graduation, this summit, this investment expo and SME summit is a choice. It is a choice by Jason and Professor Mafford, whom I was privileged to meet them in Virginia Beach. By then, when I was looking to advance my doctoral PhD studies, and we connected, and they sacrificed their time visiting Tanzania, building a team, and as we speak right now, we have 300 businesses running here in Tanzania. It's a sacrifice of the government. We've been working with the Minister of Industry and Trade, planning and investment in all these processes up to this day. It is a choice by the entrepreneurs to invest in their own excellencies. It is a choice by investors and partners to believe in Tanzania. We have been in discussion and opening remarks today from the East Africa Community Secretariat that they are ready to support and join us for this movement. And TISEZA, TANTRADE, all have been here discussing how we can take this further to help our country. But above all, it is a choice by all of us to build an economy where success is not only celebrated, but trusted. Graduates, the nation is proud of you. Go forward with the courage, go forward with discipline. Go forward knowing that the government of Tanzania stands with you, this is symbolized by the presence of the High Office, the Prime Minister and the ministers, to prove that they are standing with you. That partners like Regent, all the investors that were here yesterday, they surround you, and that your nation believes in you. Thank you very much, and Jason, Benedict, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Right Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers and dignitaries, distinguished guests, entrepreneurs and graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my privilege to be with you today and tell you a little bit more about the BDC program. I serve as a strategist with the Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship. Regent University is a major Christian university in the United States with the motto of raising up Christian leadership to change the world. If I could have my presentation, please. Bear with me one moment. I'll go ahead and proceed, and there it is. Thank you. 6 years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Isaac and Patwa in Dar es Salaam and the rest of the KLNT team. Who could have imagined at that time the wonderful partnership that would develop? Who could imagine the leaders that would be empowered, the businesses that have been started, the lives that have been changed, the jobs that have been created? It's truly amazing what has happened. Entrepreneurship, yes please, next slide. Entrepreneurship is challenging. Years ago, in 2009, we conducted a study at Regent University on the factors of success leading to entrepreneurship. And one of the things that we discovered is that there was a very low success rate in most entrepreneurship training programs. In fact, they had only single-digit success rates. And so we launched a study to try to figure out how to create entrepreneurship programs that would have a much higher success rate. And I'm very pleased to tell you today that by God's grace, we have seen 10 times the normal success rate of entrepreneurship programs through our BDC programs. As we were conducting this research, one of the things that we discovered is that there was a demographic that performed better in entrepreneurship than almost every other demographic. And to our surprise, we found that this was the children who were raised in entrepreneurial families. In other words, these were the children of entrepreneurs. They seemed to succeed in entrepreneurship at an extraordinary rate. And so we asked ourselves the question, why? Why were they succeeding at such a high rate? And the reason for it is that during their upbringing, they absorbed many entrepreneurial principles, a great deal of entrepreneurial know-how, but they also inherited their parents' networks. They inherited support systems. Essentially, what they received is an ecosystem. And so one of the things we've discovered over the years is that entrepreneurs need more than training. They need more than capital. They actually need an ecosystem. And so that's exactly what we developed in the BDC. An ecosystem where entrepreneurs would receive training, not just theoretical training, not just academic training, but the real-world skills that every entrepreneur needs to succeed in entrepreneurship, where they would receive action learning. But you see, training is just the beginning because they need more than training. They need expertise, mentors, access to suppliers, coaching. Once someone goes through our training, we realize that that's just the beginning. They will need to lay other training on top of that foundation as the years progress. So we offer just-in-time training and, of course, access to capital. So each one of these things in the ecosystem is essential. I would like to congratulate KLNT and all the partners that are gathered here today on the excellent work that you have done. You can see the wonderful partners that are assembled here, including the government of Tanzania. This is a beautiful expression of this kind of ecosystem that's required. Now, I could talk more about access to capital. I could talk about ecosystems. I could talk about the beauty of the training. But maybe it's best just to tell you a story. This story will give you an insight into what the BDC is all about. This young man, this picture was taken in 2011, and the young man you see pictured there is named Hervé. Now, Hervé was one of the entrepreneurs in one of our first cohorts in Kigali, Rwanda. And Hervé, his dream was to become a film producer. Now, one of the things that we do in the program is we encourage the dreams of our entrepreneurs, but most of all, we teach them to recognize opportunities. We teach them that there are times in business when you need to pivot and move to a different opportunity. Well, I remember Hervé's business proposal to become a film producer, and I remember I wasn't that excited about it. But we encouraged him. We said, Hervé, you have what it takes to succeed. Well, Hervé graduated from the program, and they had a business presentation competition there with a cash reward for the best presentation. And Hervé went to participate in that, and he submitted his plan for the film production company. And when this is what he told me. He said, Jason, when I was walking home, I realized that's not the business for me. That's not what I really want to do. And so he went back and he did a very audacious thing. He said, can I have my proposal back? I know the deadline isn't until tomorrow. I want to submit another proposal. And Hervé worked all night and he came up with a new business plan. And what was it? Sausage production. Can you imagine such a pivot? A pivot from film production to sausage production, but that's what he did. He submitted that plan. And do you know what happened? He won. He won, and he received a small infusion of capital that allowed him to get started. You see the small amount of equipment, the sausage equipment there. You see the little bit of livestock that he was able to acquire. Well, some time passed, and we heard that Hervé was doing well with his sausage business, that his production ramped up to 2 metric tons per month of processed meat. Not just sausage, they do many kinds of processed meat, but 2 metric tons per month. Then we received news that he had increased to 2 metric tons per week, and we were excited. And we were able to connect Hervé with an investor, and he was able to receive a little more investment to scale his business. The next thing we knew, we heard that he was increasing and growing faster and faster. He had 25% of the total processed meat market in Kigali, and that he grew from there. Well, let me bring this story to a rapid conclusion and tell you what has happened with this business. Next slide, please. So pretty soon, the supply chain could not keep up with Hervé's demand for meat. So not only did he have Canal Meat Processing, but he had to start another company called the Livestock Bank, where he worked with small-scale farmers to give them young piglets, chicks, calves, the things that they needed to raise the livestock. Essentially, he had to expand the supply chain to keep up with the growth of his business. And this succeeded wonderfully until he was working with more than 300 small-scale farmers. He ended up starting some of his own farms as well, because even this wasn't able to keep up with it. The next thing you knew, his logistics, the logistics division of his business grew to such an extent that it was spun off as its own business and became Truck Rwanda. Well, if that wasn't enough, they expanded then into packaged goods. I'm looking forward to meeting with Hervé in about just a few days from now, but the last time I heard, they were doing over 17 tons of processed meat per day through this company. Isn't that amazing? Now, why am I telling you a story about Rwanda? We're here in Tanzania. The reason I'm telling you this is because those that are graduating today have been the beneficiaries of the same kind of training program. And I fully expect, and I believe with all my heart, that just a few years from now, we're going to be standing here and celebrating your success, major success, even success greater than what we've described here. And so I look forward to that day with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Quickly, I would like to introduce those who are here, Your Honor. We do have guests, primarily from the government, and it's in order for me to introduce them. So, tuna waziri wa habari na mbunge wa Arusha mjini, Mheshimiwa Paul Makonda. Tuna manaibu mawaziri. Tuna mwenyekiti wa CCM mkoa wa Arusha, Mheshimiwa Sabaya. Tuna mkuu wa wilaya Arusha, Mheshimiwa Joseph Mkude. Tuna mkuu wa wilaya ya Monduli, Mheshimiwa Gloria Kimathi. Tuna kaimu katibu utawala wa mkoa wa Arusha. Wajumbe wa kamati ya usalama ya mkoa. Tuna mkuu wa mkoa wa Kilimanjaro. Tuna wajumbe wa kamati ya kamati ya usalama ya mkoa, katibu tawala wa wilaya ya Arusha Dr. Jacob Julius, na kamati ya usalama wa wilaya ya Arusha. So I thought it's important for you to know who's here, and we are honored for your presence. So next, I would like to run a short video, and then from there, I will welcome Honorable Pius Stephen Shire, Deputy Minister of State in the Planning and Investment, and then Dennis Londo, Minister of Industry and Trade, and he will be the one to welcome our guest of honor. And I've been reminded that we do have guests from Kenya and Uganda, and they are in the room. They are actually SMEs. After they heard about this meeting, they decided to come and support us. You are welcome, and we're glad you're here. So if you can run the video really quick. And then I would like Dr. Pius Stephen Shire to prepare himself. Media team, if you can be sharp a little bit, we're out of time.
Kingdom Leadership Institute kwa kushirikiana na wabia wetu kutoka Marekani, Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship. Tuna program ya kufundisha wafanyabiashara ambao tayari wako kwenye biashara namna ya kupanua biashara zao. Program ambazo tuko nazo, ya kwanza ni 20 weeks of entrepreneurship program, ambapo tunatoa mafunzo kila Jumamosi kwa wiki 20. Program ya pili huwa tunafanya business international tours, ambapo tunakwenda nje ya nchi, tunapeleka kwenye biashara kujifunza kwa wengine. Project ya tatu au program ya tatu ndio tumekuja nayo sasa hivi ni Gen Z Special Entrepreneurship Program. Hii ni program special kabisa kwa ajili ya vijana ambao wamemaliza form 6, yuko tu nyumbani au amemaliza chuo bado anatafuta ajira. Tunajaribu kubadilisha ufahamu kutoka kwenye kutegemea serikali kwenye ajira na kujitegemea wao, kutoa vile ambavyo wanavyo ndani, na ndivyo hii program ipo. Kwanza kabisa tulichagua vijana watatu waliokuwa wamemaliza form 6 na wengine mmoja alikuwa amepumzika chuo akiwa mwaka wa pili, na tukawaingiza kwenye hii program. I heard of the Kingdom Leadership Institute program from a friend of mine who recommended it mid last year, which is when I decided to join, and it helped me to shape the way I think about entrepreneurship in a different way, and it taught me how to think with a purpose.
Lengo la kumruhusu binti yetu Aiken kwenda kujiunga na hayo mafunzo ili aweze kuja kuwa msaada kwenye biashara ambazo tunaziendeleza, na mpaka sasa kwa elimu aliyokuja nayo amekuwa tena kubwa kwenye especially kwenye swala la marketing team, amekuwa ni kiongozi mkubwa.
When I came in with an idea that I should be doing an entrepreneurship program, speaking of seeing life in a different point of view. And she introduced me to KLI Institute, and then I joined the classes. And the classes literally changed my mindset, really, because I really wanted to see life in another perspective, and that's what it did. I saw it in another perspective. I learned from, because it's more practical, so I learned it more practically. Mimi mara ya kwanza wakati na apply nilitaka mimi ndio nisome. Lakini mwishoni nikasema nilivyoona ile content ya course na nini, na kwa sababu mwanangu pia alikuwa amechukua break ya 2 years ya university, kwa hiyo nikaona kwamba ingekuwa ni nzuri zaidi apate kwenda kuisoma hii course. Na ninamshukuru Mungu sana kwa ajili ya hii course ambayo imeweza kubadilisha mindset ya mwanangu. Kupitia course hii mwaka mmoja kana ni mindset ya kani ilikuwa ni like a paradigm shift kabisa. Amekuwa so excited na amekuwa so aggressive, lakini pia kitu kikubwa ambacho nimeona ambacho anaweza kuongezea ni confidence. Mwanangu hana confidence sana vile, lakini pia alikuwa very shy, hawezi kufanya kitu chochote. Lakini pia nashukuru Mungu nikamuunganisha na viongozi ambaye alikuwa kama mentors wake na nini, na anaweza kumsupervise vizuri na anaweza kufanya vizuri sana.
Naona majibu ni mazuri kwenye tendo uchambuzi. Kwani kama basi uchambuzi kufanya ile nataka ndio kwa sababu ni matokeo mazuri.
Kwa jamii sasa na wazazi, program hii ndio imeanza na sasa tunataka kuchukua katika upana zaidi. Kwa tunawaita wazazi, tunaita serikali, tunaita mashirika binafsi, tunaita wazazi ambao wana biashara, wanatafuta watu wanatafuta kizazi ambacho kinaweza kikarithi biashara hizi na kuzipeleka mbele bila kuwa na shida baada ya wao kuondoka ama baada ya wao kustaafu. Tunawaita kuwaleta vijana kwenye hii program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So our next speaker is Honorable Dr. Pius Stephen Shire. Before he come up front, I forgot to mention, we do have Naibu Katibu Mkuu Ofisi ya Rais Maendeleo ya Vijana, Dr. Kemon Mapana. Karibu sana. So I would like to welcome to the podium our next speaker, Honorable Dr. Pius Stephen Shire, Deputy Minister of State, President Office, Planning and Investment.
Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, the Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Frederick Sumaye, retired Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, but also the patron for this institution, Honorable Ministers and the Deputy Ministers present, Deputy Permanent Secretaries and Permanent Secretaries present, Regional Chairperson for CCM Arusha Region present. Allow me to recognize the presence of all the Acting Regional Commissioner for Arusha, but also the district commissioners present here. Allow me also to recognize the presence of the representative from East Africa Community Secretariat. We have Mr. Isaac Mpatwa, who is the executive chairperson and the founder of KLNT. But also allow me to recognize the presence of the representative of the Regent University, distinguished 45 SME graduates present here today, private sector present here today, media house present, ladies and gentlemen. Kazi na utu. Kazi na utu. Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, the Member of Parliament for Ilamba West constituency, and the Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, who is our guest of honor for this event. Allow me to sincerely thank you for honoring the invitation of our key and the strategic partners of the investment and SME platform in Tanzania. I'm aware of your very demanding schedule, yet because this subsector is vital to our economy, you have chosen to give it special priority. For that, we are very truly grateful. Honorable guest of honor, Allow me also to express my appreciation to the organizers of this important event, the Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania, the Kingdom Leadership Institute, and the Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship for convening the SMEs SUMMIT and the Investment Expo 2026 with such clear focus and purpose. This summit is designed to accelerate SME growth, unlock investment opportunities, and strengthen global market linkages. These priorities align directly with the agenda of the six-phase government and the strong leadership of Our Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. Honorable guest of honor, Tanzania has made remarkable progress in advancing support to SMEs and investors through policy, legal, and strategic reforms. Today, as we prepare to begin the implementation of the Tanzania Vision 2050, we have committed the private sector to deliver at least 70% toward our ambition of a $1 trillion economy, an economy that creates jobs, improves the quality of life for our people. This target is ambitious, yet it is achievable. Honorable guest of honor, our office stands ready to ensure that investment and SMEs become true cornerstone of achieving the DILA 2050 targets. We have every reason and every responsibility to make it happen. Honorable guest of honor, we are now embarking on revamping the private sector so that it becomes strong, committed, and aggressive. In this regard, private sector development will serve as our exit strategy from poverty, our vehicle for inclusive growth, and our engine for youth employment and improved living standard. To do this, we'll put in place the missing tools: a private sector development policy, private sector development act, and a private sector development strategy. Together, these will provide a holistic framework to guide Tanzania toward an upper middle income status by 2050 with a per capita income of $7,000. Honorable guest of honor, as you know, our office is also mandated to oversee national planning, investment, as well as private sector development. I therefore confirm before you that we have taken carefully note of all the challenges that were raised during a two-day SME Summit and the Investment Expo 2026, and we are committed to finding solutions. These include finalizing the blueprint tool, which you officiated during its validation, developing the Investment and Business Facilitation Act, to enforce reforms, action, and the blueprint tool, and completing the National Investment Policy with its guideline, as well as the Public Investment Act. Honorable guest of honor, before I conclude my remark, allow me to express again my deep appreciation to Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for her outstanding leadership and an unwavering support to our office. We remain fully committed to supporting SMEs and investors so that they can grow and contribute meaningfully to the $1 trillion economy. Thank you very much for listening. Asanteni sana. Kazi na utu. Kazi na utu.
Tunasonga mbele.
Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Our next speaker is Honorable Dennis Londo, but I would like to put a plug in here. KLNT is moving forward. So what we are observing today is just the beginning. And from today, we are launching another initiative. It's called KLNT Innovation and Technology Hub. And what we're trying to do is to take from where they have arrived to push them a little bit further. So to continue, please, Dennis Londo, Mheshimiwa. Thank you so much. And
Honorable guest of honor, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Frederick Sumaye, former Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania and Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania patron, Chairman of CCM, Arusha Region, Regional Commissioner for Kilimanjaro, ndugu yetu Nurdin Babu, permanent secretaries, hereby Dr. Mapana, head of government institutions, district commissioners, distinguished representative of the United States, ndugu Isaac Mpatwa, executive chairman of KLAT. Allow me first to congratulate the Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania, Kingdom Leadership Business Development Center, and your partners, especially Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship in the United States, for convening this summit and investment expo here in Arusha. Before I proceed, allow me to convey a warm greetings from the Minister of Industry and Trade, Honorable Judith Savio Kapinga, who could not attend this summit due to other commitments. As we launch Vision 2050, where you, Prime Minister, encouraged Tanzania to engage effectively in realizing the Vision 2050, of which actually we expect private sector to contribute 70% of the outcome. I want to say clearly, this is not a conference about entrepreneurship as a concept. This is a mobilization of capital, of market linkages, and of the disciplined capability that turns an idea into enterprises, and an enterprise into a job creation, income generating, tax paying, export ready business. Tanzania needs more vibrant SMEs to engage in manufacturing, processing, trading at a scale and meet global standards, and that accessing market beyond our regional and immediate neighborhood. Honorable guest of honor, as we launch our Vision 2050, of which actually we encourage Tanzanians to engage in manufacturing and added value addition to meet standards and compete in quality and prices, in focusing of supply chains of large firms, government procurement, and export-oriented market. This vision is embedded in our national policy and development pathway. It calls for enabling business environment and modernized and formalized SMEs sector, diversifying financing, and deeper regional and global engagement. SMEs are not a side project of development. Rather, they are a practical pathway to industrial jobs, export revenue, and inclusive prosperity based on capability, market, and capital to transform the national economy. The Minister of Industry and Trade has a clear mandate to foster economic growth by formulating policies that develop industrialization, strengthening internal and external trade, and marketing, and coordinate the key institutions to support enterprises development. Let me highlight opportunities where we can directly accelerate SMEs growth, especially in partnership with KLNT, BDC, and regional university. To formalize small business, medium enterprises, which benefit rather than a burden to the nation. You will agree with me that if SMEs remains informal, will continue to become invisible to the government and other stakeholders, such as corporate procurement entities, reputable financials, export buyers, and others. SMEs informally is not a shortcut to growth, but a ceiling on growth. Under Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan guidance and under Prime Minister's instructions, we, Ministry of Industry and Trade, we are strengthening the front doors of enterprises development, including business registration, business names, trademarks, patents, and related digital services, so that formalization takes few days for the benefit of entrepreneurs. As Prime Minister, you always emphasize all SMEs need to be formalized, proper, well-located keeping, brand and innovation protection. We as a ministry, we are following your instruction very closely. As business cannot be trusted on paper, we struggle to be trusted with capital. I would like to assure you all that the government is committed and will continue pushing for streamlined technology-enabled services and coordinated regulatory environment so that compliant businesses spend more time producing and selling and less time in navigating bureaucracy. We are eager and committed to work hand in hand with SMEs to produce quality products and services that meet standards in a modern market. The Ministry of Industry and Trade will continue to promote Kaizen model, the discipline that continues improvement across Tanzania productive sectors. SMEs should also adapt a culture of productivity to reduce wastage, improve consistency, deliver on time, and build a reputation that buyers and enhance value for money. Honorable guest of honor, SMEs is an opportunity to encourage market access to our citizens. Our national trade policy of 2023 and its implementation strategy set out clear priorities: strengthening domestic trade, expanding the utilization of preferential market access, reducing the cost and time of trading, and enhance e-commerce and digital trade infrastructure to dominate domestic market as the foundation across borders. Again, we within a region, EAC and SADC, we stand a big opportunity to meet demand in various goods and services. And in this, SMEs become more compliant and consistent to scale through regional and value chains. Honorable guest of honor, it is clearly known the preferential market access alone does not create export, but exports are created by quality, predictable, and reliable volume and quantities, documentation, logistic discipline, and ability to meet buyer expectation. Honorable guest of honor, KLNT, Region Business Development Center Summit is a timely, it's been held timely here in Arusha, matches what the ministry needs mostly, a structured, practical pathway that turns entrepreneurs in investable and scalable enterprises. In this summit, we are expecting that we are going to establish a joint working arrangement between the ministry and other stakeholders here present, with focus on SMEs, export readiness, and standards accelerate as a structured pathway for SMEs to meet standards, strengthen documentation, and become ready for export and supply contracts. In this case, honorable guests of honor, through the Vision 2050, we are still working hard to transform and revolutionize our e-commerce and digital economy in enabling models due to increase of digital trade and the need for SMEs on hands-on support on e-commerce readiness, digital marketing, consumer protection, and cross-border logistics. All these are not theoretical ideas, but implementable components aligned to national trade policies, priorities with measurable outcomes. I propose our guest of honor, this summit to be on annual platform aligned to the Ministry of Trade promotion calendar so that enable year Tanzanian producers and stronger cohort of bankable, standards compliant, export ready for SMEs. Honorable guests of honor, let me finalize by emphasizing the SMEs to use this summit to build relationship and outlive the event, ask for the standards, guidance, ask for the procurement requirements, ask for finance that fits your growth plan, our growth plan, commit formalization, productivity, and quality in the shortest path to serious engagement in regional market. To investors, the financials, please use this expo as a deal room to find enterprises you can grow with, bring passion, capital, and smarter instruments, invest in systems, not only in ideas. To development partners and corporate sponsors, please support the middle of SMEs journey standards, compliance, productivity, and market access. This is where success is determined. To our US and international partners, we welcome partnership that are commercially meaningful technology, mentorship, buyer linkages, joint ventures, and supplier relationship that build Tanzania productivity capacity. To KLT, BDC, and Regent University, please continue building the pipeline that produce disciplined, investment-ready entrepreneurs. Your work is not only training, but also industrial capacity building. Honorable Prime Minister, industrialization and trade are achieved when entrepreneurs can produce competitively, trade efficiently, and finance growth responsibly. The work begins in this room like one, and it must continue long after Arusha Expo. Ministry of Trade and Industry stands ready to partner in credible initiatives that deliver the expected outcomes. Having said that, I would like to wish all every success this SMEs Summit and Investment Expo for 2026. Honorable Prime Minister, I stand here to convey greetings from our ministry, na baada ya kusema hayo machache, naomba nitumie nafasi hii kukaribisha wewe kuzungumza na hadhara hii. Asante sana.
Tukae. Your Excellency Frederick Tuluai Sumai, our former Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania and patron of the Kingdom Leadership Network in Tanzania, Honorable Nudin Babu, our Regional Commissioner for Kilimanjaro, and now acting on behalf of the Regional Commissioner for Arusha, Honorable Deputy Ministers here present, recognizing Honorable Dr. Pius Stephen Chaya, Deputy Minister for President's Office, Planning and Investment, Honorable Dennis Silondo, Deputy Minister for Industries and Trade, and my own brother, the Deputy Minister for Technology, my brother Sweetbart Zakaria Mukama, Isaac Mpatwa, the KLNT founder and board chairman, and the leadership for Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship from Virginia in US, Ambassador Stephen Mbundi, the Secretary General of EAC, and the whole team from EAC Secretariat, Honorable Maximilian Irange, the Lord Mayor of Arusha, and the whole team from Arusha, our security organs here present, senior government officials here present, colleagues from the private sector. Nitambue pia uwepo wa viongozi wetu wa dini na kuona baba askofu Nashukuru sana kwa kuungana nasi. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues from SMEs, and all colleagues from our neighbors Kenya and Uganda, kazi na utu. Nitambue kwa namna ya pekee uwepo wa mwenyekiti wetu wa chama wa mkoa pamoja na timu yote ya kamati ya siasa na viongozi wa vyama vya siasa. I also join my previous speakers to glorify God for enabling us to be here today. And actually, when I was invited, I promised to come in person due to 3 reasons. The first one, I have strong passion on what you are doing, and I believe that it is a way of building an inclusive economy to our society. So I said with this agenda I have to come in person. And I'm a strong believer that inclusivity fuels unity, and the exclusivity fueled disunity. So with this agenda I said, look, I will reorganize my programs to the level that I will manage to attend this event in person. And secondly, Isaac Mpato is my young brother, and literally we were together during those days of studies. I think we were together. We are coming from the same region, the same district, and if I will be that specific, probably the same village. Yeah, and I'm one of the person whom I've been admiring him on his capacity of daring. I admire these youngsters who have that level of daring, to the level that he can inspire others, and he can have a vision which can empower others like what he has been doing. And thirdly, when I was told that the patron to KLT is His Excellency Frederick Summai, who silently has been my role model. I can tell at the time I was at the university, I did my practical training in the National Assembly. And those days, the photographers used to spread the photos just outside the administration block, so that whoever will recognize the face can buy and go. So I bought his photo. So I said, look, he's the patron to this, and I will have to come in person. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this juncture to share the greetings from My Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, who is highly impressed with what KLNT's initiative, which aligns with the Tanzanian development plans with the reference to the Tanzania Development Vision 2050. So as you go, bear in your mind that you have the support from the government, and specifically you have the support from My Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. The government of Tanzania is eager to collaborate with you and other partners to enhance the SMEs, and for that purpose, the national economic development. I would like to ensure you this, audience, which includes investors, bankers, government officials, and our colleagues from the EAC partner states and international partners as well, that Tanzania's entrepreneurship and SMEs, that our government is committed to and will always work together with them in all prepared actions that enhance their visions. On the other hand, over 50% of Tanzanian SMEs are owned by women, which means more than half of the engine of our economy is driven by women. Congratulations to you all. And I can tell you, though I'm not intending to invite attacks from my fellow men, but statistics show that women are more faithful and honest to business than men. They respect goals, they respect budgets than men. And my fellow men, if you attack me, I think I will get protection from Her Excellency, because also she is an example. In year 2000, Tanzania launched the Tanzania Development Vision in 2020, by the way, 2050, with the target of achieving upper middle income, just like what the Deputy Minister said, with a per capita income of $7,000. As the Deputy Minister said, it is really ambitious, but we are confident because it is achievable. We believe this will put a landmark on initiatives to drive all sectors and subsectors toward achieving that goal. As I said, currently the economy has been growing at around an average of 6.2% annually between 2002 and 2024, but it is not yet enough transformative, and it does not represent SMEs to the large perspective. It did not that much translate into widespread economic inclusion of women, youth, and for those in the informal sector. The gap between ambition and realization remained significant. The Vision 2050 calls for the modernization and the formalization of Tanzania's SMEs. More than 200 enterprises present in this room are businesses that have completed Regent University 20-week internationally certified BDC program with documented financial business plans and verifiable investment readiness profiles. Again, our Vision 2050 demands deeper trade, digital transformation, and market access, as well as a strong regional integration. We have seen that today's B2B and B2G matching sessions, that the Trade and Export Readiness Clinic, the EAC and the AFC FTA panel discussions, just what we were told by the previous speakers. The presence of all these here in the East African Business Council and the East African Women Business Platforms and partners from Regent University, this is a regional and international integration, and it is a platform not only as a rhetoric but as an arranged meetings and signed agreements. Though KLI Regent University Business Development Center and KLNT has built and managed a certified SME development pipeline across 3 cities, that is Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, and Arusha, and virtually has produced more than 200 investment-ready business since 2021, and as for today, it stands before us with credentials pipeline for over 200 operating businesses and functioning enterprises. This is a thing to commend. The government of the United Republic of Tanzania recognizes the Kingdom Leadership Network Tanzania and its affiliates, the Business Development Center, and as strategic national partner and leadership and the enterprises development, and as well model to be scaled. I assure you, under the good leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, that private sector has been made a key part of the national economic agenda, and it will go like that. The priorities being on improving business environment, providing support to SMEs through National Enterprises Development Fund, implemented by the Small Industries Development Organization, Self Microfinance Fund, Youth Development Fund, and Women Development Fund. Also, allocation of 10% of each local government revenues for youth, being 4% for youth, 4% for women, and people with disabilities being allocated 2%. In addition, the government financial institutions, including Tanzania Investment Bank, TIB, Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, TADB, that also support SMEs. CRDB Bank recently has secured around $200 million syndicated lending facility specifically to strengthen SMEs finance. Our development partners, DEG, is deploying around $50 million in addition to credit to women-led and youth-led enterprises, including the rural areas. We have also CRDB, NBC, Equity, and Maendeleo Bank, which are all represented in this room today, and all these are not press release, but they are deployable capital, which our women, youth, and people with disabilities have been accessing. And I can tell you, dear participants, the government is even thinking now that we have been giving loans to higher education students, those who are in higher learning institutions, and only to find them after they complete their studies to be dependent to retired senior officials in most cases, and dependent to their parents. We are now thinking how we can have a fund for graduates, just like what we have been doing for those going to higher learnings, that they have their loan board where they can access loans. We are thinking to have a special fund for graduates, and they will have their own decision whether they use it for higher learning more and more, or they can just finance their ideas. And we are quite aware that the main problem is collaterals. We are now thinking to certify their certificates by the higher learning institutions, and once they certify their certificates, that will be their collateral to give value to what they have been struggling for since their infancy. It is scary now to see that sometimes those who have not gone through that journey, they can joke with those who have been from primary school to universities that, look, I can just use my piece of land, which you can access it even by not going to school, and yet your certificate, you have been struggling for all those, is just as redundant like any other paper. We are trying. We have under the directive of High Excellence, we have started to see how we can work on that one, and then once it is done, by the way, we are also working on changing some of the provisions and regulations so that we allow, how do they call those movable assets to be used as collaterals, because now we have been using those fixed assets only as collaterals. So, my dear sons and daughters, in the near future you will use your certificates as a collateral. By the way, economically, if we go to numbers, sometimes investing on a medical doctor, investing on those long courses, 3-4 years up to PhD, if you calculate the cost that you have invested, sometimes it's bigger than the piece of land. Yeah. Invest the amount you invested. Imagine the amount you invest. You take your son or your daughter to a private school, The cost is just like the fees for the university, the public university. For secondary, the fees is higher than the fees for the private, for the public university. A private university, the fees is triple the fees of the public university. Sometimes universities, foreign universities, and you bring the certificate, is worth less than the piece of land which is not even formalized. We are now thinking to make value these tough journeys acquiring those academic qualifications. And I think it will be another window for our young girls and boys to get capital to finance their ideas. We have some of graduates who are practical, only they don't have the capital even to access to acquire some kits which can support to put their ideas practical. Imagine a young girl or a young boy who has graduated on pharmacy. He only misses capital to open his pharmaceutical shops and all of those. An electric engineer and many others. So we commend these trainings of this kind, and we believe at the time we will manage to do what I've just said in combination with these trainings. We will be fighting this problem of unemployment, this problem of job creation. We'll be dealing with it practically. What we need now are the more Tanzanians enterprises that are export qualified with the documentation standards and compliance, packaging, quality systems, financial records, to sell into regional and global markets. That is precisely what KLNT and BDC programs produce. This is precisely why this summit is important and why this summit exists. We, along with what I've said, that we are trying to change some regulations, and we have it in plan to see how we support the graduates and the other groups of youth. We are also thinking literally in some 4 to 6 months to come, it will be in place. We are thinking to make a new institution, that is a Export Credit Guarantee Authority, agents for that matter. Sometimes people are afraid of these authority. Export Credit Guarantee agents, just like those export guarantee schemes in developed countries. And in this scheme, we will have windows which will be guaranteeing SMEs ranging from small, medium to investors. And in that window again, we are thinking there will be a window for graduates to launch their certificates, and then they get the guarantees to access funds to the banks. We believe we have the population of youth who are creative. They are creative enough. What they miss is only who to guarantee them. sometimes even parents do not dare to give their homes, being retired, and that is what they have been struggling since their days when they started thinking of building a house, only to say, make it as a guarantee so that they say, look, I've struggled to put you to all those levels in school, and again you need my house. It becomes intimidating. So now we are opening windows for the youth of all levels to see how we can finance their ideas, and we make this idea of inclusive economic a practical agenda. Now it is the time for action, and together we can make this commitment a reality, ensuring that everyone has peace and has a place at the table to participate in building our economies. Let us rise to this challenge and create a future where prosperity is within a reach of all. Sometimes we see the volatility of these groups of youth. It is because they learn and confirm that the nature of our economies is not that much inclusive. Inclusivity is not seen as a reality, and every time they see their hopes diminishing, then they revert to that statement that they have nothing to lose. I understand that structural constraints on commercial lending, I understand it practically because I've been a minister for finance for so long. I understand that non-performing loans, ratios, and prudential requirements is also a problem. I spent time at the Bank of Tanzania, as I said, immediately after my university career. I started my career at the Bank of Tanzania, and I understand the pressures. But I also understand something, that risk models sometimes miss the cost of not financing Tanzania SMEs and create those groups of youth who has no hope. That cost is bigger than what we are fighting and are trying to avoid. And underfunded private sector produces a stagnant economy, and a stagnant economy does not generate growth, deposits, corporate clients, or fees income that the banks depend on for their own sustainability. So I would like to express my interest in exploring blended finance mechanism that can effectively support our goals. And I believe it will be beneficial to develop credit guarantees structures that empower banks to extend financial and financing to all SMEs at risk adjusted that are appropriate for their needs. As I have said, it is in the pipeline. We have already set aside some 208 billion Tanzanian shillings now at the central bank as we speak, and we have negotiated $150 million with the World Bank, which is ready also to support, to guarantee SMEs and these ideas from the youth, as I have said. And principally, that idea of certificates to be used as guarantees will also apply in this window. So, to our partners across the globe, particularly those from the United States of America, Jason Benedict and the Full Regent University Center for Entrepreneurship team, and all other colleagues joining us. We mean it, and we have started the initial steps to have this idea a reality. The Tanzania International Commercial Relationship has deep and growing roots, like for the US AGOA, continue to offer real preferential access for Tanzania exports to American markets. Prosper Africa remains an active vehicle for expanding US investment and trade engagement across the continent. What I value most in this relationship is what this summit demonstrates, that Americans, experts, American certifications, American investors networks, and Tanzanian and East African enterprises capacity can together produce something, and neither can produce alone. And a business that is credentialed in Vinini and investable in Arusha, that is the model we will always prize. Well, hongera sana ndugu yangu, hongera sana mlezi. The government will go together with you. I was also happy when I was informed, and I wish to express it here, that the encouragement to all of American investors who wish to invest in Tanzania. The Tanzanian government and Tanzanians welcomes you all. We have done some of the investments, but still the potential is unlimited. To our colleagues in EAC, the EAC partners, and to colleagues from Eastern African Business Council, the Eastern African Women Business Platform, and the EAC Secretariat, the Northern Corridor and the Central Corridor, we are alive, and really it is a gateway. Once you invest in Tanzania, it is a gateway to both the EAC and SADC regions, and indeed even to the Central Africa. We have the infrastructure ready to support your ideas. The standard gauge railway running all along from Dar es Salaam now up to Burundi, just near the doors to the Central Africa as you go to DRC. We are now revitalizing the Tazara, the Tanzania-Zambia railway, running from Dar es Salaam to Camp Priposh. You have the access to partner states of the SADC region. We have the transmission lines on the energy sector, the northern grid running from the central part of Tanzania to the border with the Kenya, the other one running to the neighboring Uganda, and the other one running southern, both to Malawi and Zambia. And we have still with some potentials for power generations in other renewable energies. The hydropower, the wind power from the central part of Tanzania is an avenue for the private sector to participate in power generation. And as you know, power is an engine, and yet the market is unlimited for both partner states in EAC and in SADC region. In a country where entrepreneurship is often driven by necessity and sustained by sheer resilience without structure, without mentorship, without credit, you have added something that resilience alone cannot give you a credibility. I understand that your Regent University certification is recognized internationally. It says to every investor, it is this room, every banker, every corporate buyer, every government, procurement officers, and this entrepreneur has been valued through this gathering. So, as I get close to the conclusion, let me insist on some few issues. The first one, let us have the reform action matrix, which is produced by the summit, policy dialogue sessions, which will be formally submitted to the office of the Prime Minister so that we can follow up on what you have been discussing. Let us avoid those letters of to whom it may concern. They are never answered. Yeah. Let's have a specific address to whom we address our letters. Those to whom it may concern, they are never answered. So make the matrix and let me have it so that we move closely to what you have recommended to the government. I know TISEZA and TANTRADE have been represented, but let them prepare also action plan and incorporate KLI, BDC graduates into their existing pipelines. Thirdly, the financial institutions in this room, let them register the specific commitments, instrument types, and amount timeline, and perhaps targets to enterprises with the summit's technical secretariat before leaving today. You make some commitments to our graduates so that they go with something as they depart from the room. Again, I every time discourage those words that it has been taken for further we move out with commitments that this will be implemented. And fourth and lastly, preparations for the SMEs Summit and Investment Expo 2027 should commence immediately, and probably like what the Deputy Minister and my young brother Londo has just said, it should be one of those calendars in the ministry in collaboration with all of the responsible ministries. And I'm aware that the organizers led by KLNT will announce the upcoming dates today. So let them go together with the preparations for the 2027. And for sure, by God's grace, if you are alive, if you invite me, I will come again. I need to be informed of what we are doing in this agenda every year. Because as I said, imagine if all the groups in our society will be included in various platforms of economic, as we build our economy, the youth, the women, the disabled, the graduates of all levels. Imagine the way our countries will have peace. Yeah. Imagine the way our countries will have unity. Exclusivity creates sadists in the society. Yeah. I saw one day those guys who make these emojis and the cartoon. One sketch was drawn, and it's like interviewing one old woman. That look, in the word we have rich. In the word we have rich and poor. If you were to meet God and ask something, what would you ask? Would you ask for you to be rich, or for the poor, or for you to be rich, or for the rich to be poor? It's like that old was thinking deeply and said, for being rich is so tough, just let them all be poor so that we are here. Exclusivity creates sadists. We need inclusivity so that we will have peace, all of us. So, as I conclude, I wish to once again reiterate my sincere appreciation to KLNT and to you all having the opportunity to participate in the matters of mutual interest to both you and the government, I wish to reaffirm my personal commitment and that of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania to continue working closely with all partners for the mutual benefit of our countries and our people. May the partnership formed today benefits Tanzanians who are currently not represented. Let this summit be remembered not just for the words spoken, but for the tangible outcomes achieved and the programs you will put in place, as I said earlier on. Kwa pamoja, tunaweza kubadilisha hali ya uchumi wetu na mustakabali wa taifa letu. Niwatakie wote kila laheri. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Je vous remercie.
Thank you so much.
Na sasa niko tayari kwa ratiba inayofuata. Tukae tu, nimeambiwa kuna ratiba nyingine itafuata.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. So, as you've been informed, we request that you help us confer some certificates to our graduates. We do have a total of 80 graduates. We have 30 SMEs, 50 SMEs and 30 trainers. Now, because of time, we will request for you to offer a representation. So you will give 5 certificates to the SMEs and 5 certificates to the trainer. And we will try to, we have been given names that will represent different segments of the graduates. So there are youth, women, and another segment. So from the trainer list, and we will start with the SMEs, but I'm just mentioning so that those who will get the certificate will actually line up to prepare to come up front. So from the trainer list, there is Yusuf Sesanga, there is Dr. Rogers Sabuni, Dr. Mwijage Bishota, Advocate Susan Talin Nelima, and Mary Joan Msonsa. If you can line up. And then from the SME list, and the SME list, when I mention your name, you'll have to come all the way because we'll be coming through the stage. You get out the other side, and then you shake the hands of the Mheshimiwa, and then you can continue. Yes, the patron and Mr. Isaac Mpatwa. You can go there and be by the side of the Prime Minister. From the SME list, there's Catherine Katala, Karine Daniel Mwampamba, God Bless Minjo, Aikin Lema, and Hilda Nkanda Kabisa. All right, so I'll be mentioned one by one. Okay. SMEs, those who are mentioning your name, please come quickly to save the time. So to begin with, so the first graduate is the trainer to receive the certificate is Dr. Mwijage Bishota. And then Yusuf Sesanga should be next. So the next, all right. Once you're done, please exit the podium. And then there's Yusuf Sesanga. Thank you very much. And then Dr. Roger Sabuni. Thank you. And then Advocate Susan Tarlin Nilima. Thank you. And then Mary John Msonsa. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Now from the SME, and these are just the representatives. We're starting with Catherine Katala. Karen. And then God bless Ninja, and then Aikin Lema, and then Hilda. Thank you. Karen Daniel Mompamba. Thank you. God bless Minja. Thank you. Aikin Lema. Thank you so much. And then Hilda Nkanda Kabisa. Thank you so much, Your Honor. The next exercise, they will arrange chairs here, and then we'll have four photographs. You'll have a picture with the graduates, and then pictures with the leadership of KLNT and the partners. And the picture with the leadership of the hotel. They've been very good to us.